Hello everyone, I'm Pulkit Mathur, founder of The Spiritual Bee, and I just wanted to make a quick video on how to deal with worry, stress and anxiety in these times of the coronavirus crisis. Because we are certainly going through very challenging times, and many of you must naturally be worried about the health of your family and friends. You must be worried about your job, you must be worried about losses in the stock market, your business. And so if you have these concerns, if these types of thoughts are stressing you out and are causing you to become nervous and worried, then do watch this video till the end, because I will outline in it a method by which you can tackle these types of anxious thoughts. So what is this method? See, the first thing we must understand is that when going through challenging times, it is natural to be anxious. It is natural to develop anxiety, especially if you're an empathetic person. You know, an empathetic person will start to worry about the well-being of their friends and family, about their safety, and so naturally they'll develop some anxiety. Also, if you're a person who can foresee trends in the future, if you have some foresight and you can connect the dots, and those trends don't look very positive, or you feel that the situation may not resolve very quickly, then too, you will start to develop some anxiety. Now, while it's natural for the emotions of worry, stress and anxiety to crop up in our minds, still we cannot allow them to fester. We must apply a countervailing force to counter these negative emotions, because if we allow them to fester, then we'll quickly spiral down, like we'll have a nervous breakdown. So what can we do? So the first way to counter anxiety is to manifest courage. Courage and bravery are the antidotes to the poison of anxiety. As the saying goes, tough times don't last, tough people do. And Swami Vivekananda has also said that fortune favors the brave and the prepared. So the first and foremost thing we must do is to commander courage. We must manifest courage from within us. Now you will naturally ask me, how do I manifest courage? I'm not feeling very courageous at the moment. So how do I bring out courage from within me? So the way to do this is as follows. See, the first thing you must understand is that whenever anxious thoughts strike you, whenever you feel anxious and worried, just close your eyes. Close your eyes and imagine these anxious thoughts coming and striking your mind from outside, and reject them forcefully. Just say that I'm going to push these thoughts out of my mind. I'm going to reject them. I'm going to reject them and I'm going to shatter them to pieces. And at the same time, repeat to yourself, I am going to be brave, bold and courageous, because I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the soul, pure, infinite and perfect. Every quality is within me, waiting to be manifest. I can manifest courage from within me, because the source of infinite courage is within me. It is within my very soul. I am an infinite, omnipotent soul. Every power is within me. I can do anything and everything. So repeat this to yourself like a mantra again and again, and you will see over time these anxious thoughts reducing. Now the second thing you can do is to actually remove yourself from the WhatsApp messages and the television hysteria that, the scaremongering that typically the media indulges in, and the negative thoughts of your friends. Distance yourself from this over hype and almost like a speculative frenzy of the media. There is truth there, but then they tend to, over fearmonger. So try to remove yourself from that and immerse yourself in the uplifting thoughts of Swami Vivekananda. If you want to imbibe courage, imbibe it from him. He was one of the most courageous persons that have lived on this earth. He went through so many difficulties of which we have almost no idea. Most people have no idea that he suffered from hunger, from poverty, and he had a most difficult time when his father died. He was very young and he had to bear the responsibility of a huge family. There were famines all around and his family did not have enough to eat. So Swami Vivekananda went through really, really tough times. And so when you read his literature, when you read his works, when you read his writings, his quotes, you will naturally imbibe courage from him, because his whole work is full of courageous thoughts. So read his writings, read a little bit every day, and you will find courage coming into you. And the third thing you can do is to chant the Gayatri Mantra. The Gayatri Mantra is a most powerful mantra, and what it does is it imbues your whole body, your whole mind with Prana Shakti. It boosts your Prana Shakti, and Prana Shakti is the force that powers the mind. So when you chant the Gayatri Mantra over and over again, as many times as possible, you will find the Prana Shakti rising in your body. And since Prana powers the mind, it powers the qualities of courage, of patience, of endurance, of prudence, of wisdom, of vivek, all of which we need to go through any type of challenge or crisis situation. So Gayatri Mantra is an absolute must in these difficult times. And finally, the last and the most important way we can counter anxious thoughts, the most important way in which we can overcome the feelings of stress or the thoughts of worry and the thoughts of despair that can arise in challenging times, is to understand that there are two types of situations in life. There are two types of situations. The first one is situations over which we exercise control. And then there are the second type of situations over which we have absolutely no control. It's not in our hands to affect the outcome of those types of situations. So, for example, with regards to the coronavirus pandemic that is sweeping the globe, what we can control, what is in our hands, is to maintain social distancing, to keep a distance of at least 1 or 2 meters when we are talking to somebody else, to maintain hand hygiene, to protect our own spit from falling on others by wearing a mask. So in case we are infected and we are not aware of it, we don't want to go about infecting others. So as a protective gesture, we can consider wearing a cloth mask, not the surgical kind with which the doctors are in need of, and there is a shortage, but a regular cloth mask which you can make at home or you can buy at any shop. You can take these preventive protective measures. You can ensure that your family, if you have aged parents, that they have access to all the supplies, the food, and you can ensure that you have explained hand hygiene and other disinfecting processes to your parents, to the people who work in your house, in your building, in your society, or they may work in the office. You can take upon yourself the responsibility of explaining these things to people. So these are things which we control, but then there are many things that we don't control. We don't control how this pandemic will manifest. We don't know which way it will go, whether it will be contained immediately or whether it will take a longer period of time to get contained. And so we don't know what will happen, in the long run. We don't know how our parents will fare through this. We have almost no control over those types of situations, we don't know how our friends, we may advise our friends, but whether they follow it through or not, we have almost no control. We may tell our parents, take these precautions, take these 4-5 precautions, but whether they follow through or not, we cannot say. So those types of things obviously will make you worried, the second part over which you don't have control. So when you're faced with a situation which is not in your control, the one and only solution is to give up that problem to the Divine Mother. Just imagine yourself having a conversation with Mother. Just imagine in your hand is a box of all these problems over which you have exercised almost no control. They're not in your hands, and you're very worried about it. Put them all in a box. Imagine that you've put them in a box. Hand the box to her and tell her, Mother, you are the mother of the universe. You know better than me what is good for my family, for my parents. You manage them. You help them out. I give this problem to you. You manage it. Because I am just a child. There is no way I can manage it, I'm just a little child. It's not, I'm talking about a spiritual child. You're spiritually, you're a child. You don't have the powers to manage things. You can only affect the outcome of certain things. So what is not in our hands, we must just give it up. You have to give it up. You have to surrender to the divine. The divine is omnipresent, it is omnipotent. The Divine Mother has all the powers. Everybody is her child, and she knows the past, present, future of everybody. She knows what is best for everybody. What we want may not be the best for our parents, whatever is the outcome we desire. So let her decide. Let her decide. Give it up to her, Then you will have peace of mind, because you will have a firm faith that there is a higher power managing circumstances, managing people, and this higher power has the capability to manage. We don't, but this power does. So one has to learn to give up. You have to give up your problems. You just imagine putting them in a box and you just give it to her. Just imagine that you're giving it to her, she's taking it, and after that you just become peaceful, because she will manage. It is not something you can manage. It is not your problem anymore. Let her manage. Let Mother manage. She will happily manage it for you. And whatever is the outcome, you accept it. Whatever is the outcome, she will do the best that is possible for that given situation. So this is the way. This is the way of surrender. But you can surrender only after you have done your part, in the sense that you cannot surrender without doing your part. What is your part? Your part is to educate your family, things which are in your control. Educate them, help them out to the best of your ability, help them out, and then give up the outcome to the Divine Mother to decide what is best for them, because it's not in our hands. It really isn't. So these are the 4 things, and I hope that they will really help you in controlling your anxieties and worries. The reason I'm telling them is because I've used them myself to counter my own anxieties and worries. This is a natural thing, but we must learn. There must be in us a methodology that we can implement. Whenever these thoughts arise, we must know how to tackle them. So I hope this video is helpful to you, and I wish you the very best, and the very best of courage and all the blessings of God to pull you through this crisis. Now, one thing I left out actually in this video is to identify who the Divine Mother is. The Divine Mother has many forms. You can imagine her as Durga, as Gayatri, as Kali. You can also imagine her as Shardama, as Mother Meera, as Anandmayi Ma. You can imagine her as Mata Bhagwati Devi Sharma. So Mother has many forms, her forms are many, but ultimately behind all these forms, there's just one power working. So whichever form you have an affinity to, you can pray to her. Even the Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus, she too is the Divine Mother. So if you are in a Western nation and you feel an affinity to her, pray to her. She's the Divine Mother. So she will help you out, So this is something to remember, that the forms of Mother are many, but she is one.